Alright, so we will now talk about the time value of money. So, what is this time value of money? It is the idea that money available now is worth more than the same amount in the future due to its earning potential. Think about it. Money that you have in hand today can be invested to earn a positive rate of return, producing more money tomorrow. Therefore, the same amount of money if you have in hand will be valued lesser and lesser into the future. So, what are the factors that usually influence time value of money? I'll just cover it in simple details, and I encourage you to look at it more in references or through your own self study. The first factor is human preference for instant gratification, right? You must have definitely seen a lot of videos of children who were given an offer to have a candy now or two candies 1 hour later, and most children usually prefer to have candies now. So what does this experiment show is that the human nature to have something right now is very strong, and therefore the demand for money now is always going to be very high. So because of that, we tend to kind of prefer cash flows in the present time than cash flows coming in future, right? Imagine your friend telling you whether you want rupees 100 now or rupees 100 after a week. So you would say that no, I want it now. All right. Now then talk about economic policies and monetary inflation. So yes, different countries have different economic policies, different ways in which the economy performs, and because of which the demand is stipulated or stimulated in the economy. So because of that, the time value of money also keeps changing from an economy to another economy. And then the last point is uncertainty associated with future cash flows. So oftentimes there is a risk associated with whether someone will return your money or whether you will be able to get back the money you have invested somewhere. So because of which the money you have in hand right now is worth more than money that you would get sometime later in the future. So why time value of money matters for you? So you need to understand that the time value of money is required for the following calculations: to account for certain transactions such as loan amortizations, lease payments, and bond interest rates. You must be also aware of the financing for new programs and products, and it must be justified using these techniques. So what are the key points to note? First, cash flows at different points in time cannot be compared and aggregated. So to do that, all cash flows have to be brought forward or backward to the same point in time. That point in time can be today, and it is called as a present value, or in the future, and it is called future value. A timeline depicts the cash flows associated with a given investment. I'll show something in the next slide. The timeline usually starts at 0, which indicates today, and shows multiple intervals where cash flows, and these intervals are usually yearly intervals. So therefore, a value of an investment is assessed either at present value by discounting future cash flows or at future value by compounding earlier cash flows. Look at this example here. So this is an example where you suppose you invest 1000 rupees today with a promise that you get 250 rupees every year from now. Okay, would you choose to invest or would you choose not to invest? Such a problem might come occasionally to you or will come to your customers. So you can either assess it at future value, which is at the top, and you can see that we have to compound every value to the future value, including the investment that you make to the future date, that is 5 years later. Now if you have to assess it at present value, then you have to discount all the future cash flows that is occurring at year 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5 to the present value. So we'll work out this problem in the later video. but you understand that we can either assess it at future value at end of year 5 or at present value, that is at present time. So to do that, the key components are: a cash flow occurring in the future is discounted using the formula PV, which is present value, is equal to FV, that is future value, divided by the compounding term, that is bracket 1 plus R bracket close to the power T. Whereas a future value is a cash flow assessed in the future compounded using the formula FV is equal to PV times bracket 1 plus R to the power T. Now it is important for us to note that R is the notional interest rate. This interest rate is not the rate which is told to us by the banks, or it is equivalent to the inflation rate. It is going to be a notional interest rate which will differ from business to business, right? You may wish to discount or you may wish to compound at a completely different interest rate other than what is followed elsewhere. Okay, so therefore it's called a notional interest rate, and it's not the same as what we did earlier. All right, and time is T is the time in years. So there are basic 5 types of cash flows: simple cash flows, annuities, growing annuities, perpetuities, and growing perpetuities. Most assets represent combinations of these cash flows, and we will be doing some of the exercises using this